Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hard Nine Pod. It was literally 28 seconds ago that I realized that every time I look here, I'm really looking over here. So it took us a little bit to figure out where I'm supposed to look on this iPad. I think I've got it figured out, but maybe not. So if I'm giving you the side eye, I do apologize. Hopefully, everyone had an amazing Thanksgiving. We have now entered into my favorite time of the year, the holiday season, which also includes NBA, the bowl season for colleges, as this weekend are the championship games, the NHL, which I'm trying to get into, obviously the World Cup. But for what we're going to focus on for the majority of today, the winter meetings. Caleb, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. But yeah, the winter meetings are my favorite part of the off season every year. Um, yeah, so we had some exciting stuff with the World Cup today. USA won, so I guess we can get that out of the way now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Christian Pulisic's really that was awesome. Everyone else could have been playing poorly or great. I don't know how to evaluate any of them.
Nope. Nope. Me
I know that
neither.
when they score, it's good. That's about
Here's
all
the
I
one
got.
thing that's a little annoying to me. Like, okay, I understand soccer is a grand old game. I do, right? And I'm trying to slowly become a fan. Outside of the World Cup, St. Louis does now have a team, so I want to learn the game. What is annoying to me, and this is not everyone, but I feel like people in the soccer community aren't quick to embrace those not in the soccer community. And I feel like there's a lot of judgment. I have a lot of questions. There's a lot of things I don't know. So when I ask questions, it's not because I'm an idiot. It's because I didn't grow up playing the game. I didn't grow up watching the game, but I'd like to become a fan of the game. So don't sit back and like judge me for that. Because if you were to ask baseball questions, I would gladly answer those for you in a sophisticated way. Not a I am better than you. You're late to the party, so we don't want you. I don't like that about a faction, not all, a faction of the soccer community.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on here or if it was when we were together over the holiday over Thanksgiving. But I told you I still have no fucking idea what offsides is in
No, me
soccer.
neither.
And when Weah was offsides today before he scored the goal, I was so genuinely confused on how the hell that was offsides because it looked like he just did his job and got past the defense to me.
That's what I
I
thought.
don't understand it. I even tweeted out I still don't have any fucking idea what soccer offsides means because I don't. But hey, Team USA, top 16 team in the world, so that's pretty cool.
Hey, moves on. Hopefully, Pulisic can play. He is in the
Did
hospital.
you? I mean, his message was
Mm,
pretty awesome, huh?
yeah, Captain America, we need him. What are our chances against the Netherlands? They are ranked eighth in the world. I have no idea what that means. I don't know.
I know in order to be number one in the world, you have to beat number eight. So
I also know that now 8 a.m. Saturday, I will be drinking and watching the soccer game. So there's that.
I will be too. I'm hoping that some bars open up early around here for that.
They will. I guarantee they will be here. When Caleb was down here, we went to watch the USA Wales debacle. Big soccer community down here, like very big international community. A pretty cool experience, pretty cool time. I'm sure it was that way again today. We did not go. I watched it here at the place, but I will be maybe making your mom go somewhere for cakes and eggs on Saturday to watch the game. Hopefully, to be kicking off a great Saturday.
The one thing I do want to shout out before we get into baseball, because we're not a soccer podcast, Tyler Adams is awesome. He's the captain of the U.S. team. The way he handled that press conference, did you see that? Was amazing.
Yes,
The
yes.
guy confronted him about Iran and saying Iran instead of Iran. First off, could you imagine an American reporter doing that to a foreign person and saying
No.
they pronounced America wrong? No, I couldn't. I don't know what that was about. And then asked him a question about being a black man representing America that has problems with African Americans. And his response was awesome. That's why he's the captain of the U.S. So I just want to give him a shout out because I thought that was a pretty cool moment for him.
I did promise that we would spend about 22 seconds. We've gone over a little bit of that, but I would also like to shout out Matt Turner is a stud. That dude is a dude.
He's
I
really good.
told you I heard, and I don't know if this was from one of the shows we watch, or if this is a legit the nickname the octopus has to stick. If it's not real, we need to make it stick because that dude is awesome. Also, I tweeted today that man is the Bryce Harper of soccer. Like just the way his emotion, the way he is fired up, he gets. I love it. I'm still trying to learn the game. I can't say I'm a fan yet. I'm a USA fan. Rooting for them makes it a lot of fun. It's just like the Olympics for me. I got buddies back in the Lou who are massive soccer fans. So shout out to you guys. They've tried for years to get me there. I'm working on it. It's the same with hockey. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I used to be a hockey fan. I lost it. I'm getting back. So I'm getting there. So there we go.
Ho-
Caleb, your flight. Anything you'd like before we get to baseball? Anything you'd like to say about your first flight to the 504 and then back home?
Not too bad. I was told that the takeoff was going to be some grand event, like it was a roller coaster. It really wasn't anything. Like honestly, anything. You could feel it, like you could feel what was happening, but it wasn't like ridiculous to me. Like I felt like I was going to fall out the back. The flights themselves were fine. There were some moments where I'd see like a light to my side. I was like right by the engine, and I was like, "Oh no, the engine's on fire." But it never was on fire, so we were fine. Um, Honestly, they were pretty smooth. I actually enjoyed my time in the airport by myself, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was like listening to
Well, you can
podcasts
stay
and watching
longer
them.
next time if you want. We'll come later to pick you up.
No, I meant before the flight.
I know. I
But no,
understand.
it's
You'll be
weird.
back
It's
soon.
weird.
You're a
It's like
seasoned
it's like an
vet.
event. It's like an event to fly.
It is.
It's like everyone's kind of nervous. There's like nervous energy all over the place. You can tell.
Especially during the holidays when you want to get to wherever it is you're going. That's never easy, especially when you deal with airlines. So yeah, so see, you're a seasoned vet. You'll be back here soon, and that's good to go. We got that out of the way.
Yeah, not too bad. I didn't
All
crash.
right, so let's move on to winter meetings start December 4th.
Fourth or
Today's
fifth.
the 29th.
Well, it starts
So that
Monday.
is in 5 days. They start December 4th through the 7th, I believe.
They start on a Sunday.
I think so.
Oh,
That's
they
what I
do.
saw. Yeah,
Cool. Okay.
yeah. I guess the first thing we need to say before we get to the Cardinals, we're trying to focus a little bit more with the Cardinals as far as narrow in on position. We'll get that in a minute. There is not a better, more solid baseball move than the Houston Astros signing Jose Abreu. There just isn't. Like that is the perfect piece. Here, one thing I wanted to say about the Astros. Right, I'm not going to get into all the crap that people want to get into. They seem to forget that the Cardinals committed an actual felony when trying to steal stuff from people. So they seem to forget that. Okay,
And that they employed the guy that pulled off the cheese.
So let's the cast stones to throw whatever at glass out. Let's not do any of that. All right. Here's what I would say about the Astros. They don't go out and sign the top free agent. They don't go out and overpay for guys that don't fill a need. And getting Jose Abreu, like I think Gurriel, and I'm a Gurriel fan, but you put a defensive guy like Abreu who also puts up the offensive numbers like he does in the middle of that lineup, whether he's going to hit fifth or sixth. I mean, who cares where you're going to put him? And you still have Gurriel if you want to use him to DH, or he's not a free. Okay, so he'll be gone. He'll be gone.
Wait, they don't know. They said they tried.
That's true. That's fair. But you put him. It is the perfect Astros move, and I think there's one more perfect Astros move coming, and that's when they sign Justin Verlander.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to because I don't think they need to, and I think they're starting to realize that they don't need to sign Justin Verlander.
Okay.
Could you? I mean, is there even a more deadly 1-2 than Javier and Framber Valdez right now in the league? I don't think so.
Well, you're also forgetting Garcia, and you're forgetting McCullers.
I'm just saying in terms of a 1-2, like you still have that
right.
that 1-2 that can shut anybody down without spending the $40 million a year for Verlander. I'm not sure. I know they'll probably be in contact with him, but we'll see. I think one of Brantley or Gurriel will go back, and that will be their DH/platoon wherever they want to put him. But yeah, great move for them. A lot more money than I thought he was going to get. 20 a year, man.
Good but shout out to Jose Abreu. That dude is like I'm not a diehard Sox fan. I'm not a Sox fan. Like I pay attention to them because being from St. Louis, Chicago, not that far away, can't root for the Cubs, so kind of pay attention to the White Sox a little bit. Model citizen, like beloved in the city of Chicago, beloved by his teammates and coaches. He will slide right into that with zero pressure, like literally zero pressure. It's not like he's going to an organization where he has to be the guy. You know what I mean? He's going in and he can just be Jose Abreu. That lineup, if he hits sixth in that lineup, I mean, hey, shout out to them. They went, they got their reliever back. They get Abreu. They've got the nucleus still there. They are the model franchise in Major League Baseball. They and the Dodgers, and I know the Dodgers have only won one. I get it.
Braves.
And the Braves. Yeah, I was going to get to them, but I think those are the models to follow. The Cardinals also. I mean, you have to throw them in there. You really do. When you look at their success over the last 25 years, you just have to. Like, they might not be developing the Bryce Harpers, Mike Trouts of the world. We did. We had Albert Pujols. Like, we forget, organizations don't just come by superstars naturally.
Unless you're the Nationals.
And the other thing is, the Nationals had what? I mean, yeah.
They developed
but that was also because they were terrible. So it's the same thing with
go too. So
yeah, right. I mean, and they got Turner. Like they didn't draft Turner, so
No, but they traded for him when he was young. But
Right. But you look at the Dodgers, you look at the Astros, you look at the Braves, and I think you have to include the Cardinals in there simply because of what they've done. Like I said, the last 25 years, but also the last 10 years, the last 50. I mean, you fill in the window that you want. I think they have to be included in that conversation when we're talking about that.
yeah, for sure. I think the difference is the pitching development currently. The Cardinals are way behind of developing the pitchers, and I think the developing of the elite tier hitters is way behind. And let's give them some credit. There's still some guys that we don't know what they are yet. Dylan Carlson, what's Tyler O'Neill going to end up being? What's Jordan Walker going to be? Mason Wayne, like they've had a new wave of
Nolan
guys come through.
Gorman, Ivan
Gorman,
Herrera.
Lars Nootbaar, even like a guy like that.
Right.
So we don't know what those guys are going to become. And then I had one more. Oh, one more thought on Jose Abreu. One, great for him. He may be the least talked about MVP ever. No one even remembers he won the MVP.
Right.
And two, what I don't know what the White Sox are doing. I think they should just tear it down. Really short window for them. I think we all thought that was going to be a new wave, and it seems to have been maybe only 2 years with them not even winning a playoff series. Isn't that where it seems like it's going for them?
It sure does, and
like how sad is that?
Yeah, I don't know what I mean. I don't know what they're doing up
like
there.
I guess you just tear down and build around Luis Robert and hope you can find some more guys through your system. I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. Since Abreu arrived on the scene at the major leagues at the age of 27, Cuba, right? Abreu's Cuban.
Cuba, yeah.
Yeah. From Cuba, with the White Sox. All he has done is put up OPS pluses of 173, 135, 124, 141, 117, 118, 165, 124, and 133. And he's only once in his career been under an 800 OPS, and that was 798.
Did he win Rookie of the Year?
I hate to read off stats to people because that's what I was doing, but that is the model. That's literally the model of consistency that you're now putting into a lineup that is exactly where he. I mean, it's almost like he's made to be a Houston Astro. Like,
you're talking about you're putting in a 3-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger, Rookie of the Year, MVP player in your lineup.
Right.
That's who you're putting in. And yeah, he's had a downtick in power. That's fair. But with those Crawford boxes, I would not be surprised if that downtick goes straight back up.
Nope.
So yeah, great move for them. They just make great moves all the time. Every move, they're one of those organizations that every move they make makes sense. There's not one where it's like Chris Bryant to the Rockies, where you're like, why the hell did they do that? It makes no sense. Or even with the Mets, when I'm sure they're going to make a move, where you're like, that doesn't, like, you're just buying guys at this point just to buy guys. They've done that.
Or the White Sox trading Tatis for James Shields.
That was stupid. Yes. Or the Cardinals.
Or trade, but they did get Moncada and Jimenez for Quintana. Huh?
They got Cease and Jimenez for Quintana.
Sorry, my apologies. That's what.
And they got Moncada for Chris Sale. So they've done well with trades.
They have done well. Yeah, they have done well, except for the Tatis one. But yeah. All right. So one thing that Caleb and I talked about when he was here, and as we kind of want to take the pod into obviously it's off season. You've got a lot of things, a lot of sports going on right now. But for us, baseball's 365. So with the Cardinals, it's always easy for us to come on. And while nothing has happened yet, really, for the Cardinals, I mean, a few insignificant 40-man roster moves here and there. But for the most part, when nothing has happened, we're trying to dig in. It's so easy to say, oh, well, we should do this. And, hey, we want Trey Turner and Correa, and we want to go trade for this. So we're trying to pinpoint it down to catch. Let's start with catcher, right? Go by position. We know the first and third are we know those are done, right? We can get to pitchers. We'll get to pitchers later if there's a thing that we think that maybe we should do. But I think the number one need coming into the season, and Mozeliak, Mo has hinted on it. Well, has said it. He didn't hint. He said it. I mean, catcher is probably the biggest need for this team heading into the 2023 season. So we might as well start there. And what do you see this team doing? And when we talked about it on the last pod, but those are just us like throwing out names. Like legitimately, what do you see and what do you want them to do? Because those are two different things.
Yeah. So if you guys have followed this team long enough, Mozeliak targets. He has very specific targets every offseason, and he will go fill that need. Right field, Dexter Fowler. Whether or not you agree with it, they won the left-handed bullpen arm. They got Cecil and Miller. They go after that guy, and they'll get that done first before they go explore other things. So just because number one on the priority list is a catcher doesn't mean they won't look at doing other things. I think they will. But first and foremost, I think catcher will be the first thing they do. I do. I think there's a lot of ways it could go. The more and more I think about it, the more I think a guy like Willson Contreras will not happen. Just because, and for me, it's not as much the money as it is they hate giving up draft picks. They hate it. They don't
Right.
do it. I don't remember the last time they have done it. So, but that the draft picks and the money they have to give up seems like a combination for a Cardinal nightmare of what they would want to do. So, to me, the guys that I kind of want to focus on, I'm gonna throw out three names to you of the. Let's go top tier. These are the top tier of the. Hey, we get these guys. We feel good about the catching position for the next 3-4 years.
Right.
And there's two guys because Jansen and Contreras, I'll say for the second level. Alejandro Kirk and Sean Murphy. Those are the two guys I'm throwing out where you get them. They're elite catchers in this league. And you feel great about your catching position for 2022 and at least 3 years. So if it were
right.
up to you, knowing prospect capital, what it would take for you to give up, for example, Oakland's going to want really young guys that aren't close to arbitration and prospects. And Toronto is probably going to want guys that are going to immediately impact their team next year. So knowing all of that, which direction would you rather go with those two?
I'm going to lead into my answer. Had a really, it wasn't a long, in-depth conversation, but shout out to @BK, Blue Jays fan today on Twitter. And he brought up what I thought was a great point. I have said all along I love Alejandro Kirk, but there are concerns there as far for me for catcher, right? There just are. And his point that he brought up in our discussion, which was very spot on, is he thinks it's going to be very difficult for the Cardinals and Blue Jays to make a trade because it is tough for two contending teams sometimes to make a deal, right? Because the Blue Jays, if they're going to give up, and my number and what precipitated the discussion was, my number one question is why, like if Kirk, all I hear is how he's an excellent defender, he's 24 with elite upside offensively. Okay, well, if I'm the Blue Jays, they know that. It's not like just we here in St. Louis know that. So if they're going to deal Christian Kirk, they're going to want equal value back for him. All
Alejandro Kirk.
Oh my God, what did I say? Christian Kirk?
He plays for the Jaguars.
Well, hey, shout out to that guy. He got paid. But either way, yes, Alejandro Kirk. If you're going to deal him, so my question all along has been, to me, it doesn't make sense because of what you're going to have to give up. So that's a long way to get to the answer of I believe it's Sean Murphy, simply because I think you're going to have to give up less top end capital to get him potentially. But also, I do think that point, and I'd never looked at it like this. It is hard, when I mean, they have three catchers. If they're going to deal a 24-year-old which was my question, cost controlled slugger who also is known for framing. Like let's not call this guy Yachty. He doesn't throw guys out. We don't know. We've yet to see the repercussions of him calling games. He only catches 60 to 70 games a year. Sean Murphy's the guy for me. If we're going to make a trade, that's because Kirk, I've said it before, he's never caught over 80 games a year. Doesn't mean he can't by any means. He hasn't. To me, his body type and everything else screams DH halftime to me. So if you're fine with Kisner catching 80 games a year, then maybe Kirk's your guy. But I think the price for Kirk is way higher than Murphy. I really, truly do, because you're dealing with the Blue Jays, who are on the cusp of being elite in the National League East right now, or American League East, sorry.
Okay, let's stay on Kirk for a second before we go to Murphy. I think the price is very similar. If I'm being honest, I think if I'm being the way I would think it would go would be Kirk would cost you Newbar and Murphy would cost you Gorman. That's kind of where I've broken it down in my head to the centerpieces of the trade. That's the differences I think they would be. For me, Kirk, the reason I do think he could be the one that's moved. Now, I get the upside, I get the age, I get all of that. The reason I think he could be the one is because if the Blue Jays really want something that's more that they say, hey, we really want to target this type of player, left-handed hitting outfielder. Kirk might be the guy you have to give up to get that, and they might be perfectly okay with Jansen and Moreno being their catchers and say, well, we don't want to give up Kirk necessarily, but that's what it's going to cost for us to get what we really want back and to put in the outfield. So, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess here's what I'm looking at, and I'm not in the mindset of the Blue Jays, so I'd love to have this discussion with Blue Jays fans. So if you're out there, we would love to hear from you. Here's my thing. You just traded Teoscar to Seattle, all right? That opens up the ability to move George Springer to right field, which they've wanted to do now for maybe since they got him, okay? Well, but what it also does is it opens up at-bats at DH, which tells me if I'm the Blue Jays, I'm dealing Danny Jansen. I'm not dealing Christian Kirk because he's 24. And to me, getting Lars Newbar, why not go sign? Like, you just freed up money getting rid of Teoscar because you weren't going to resign. So go sign Brandon Nimmo. Like if that's the guy you want, if you want a left-handed hitting center fielder, that's a proven asset.
Okay,
Lars
here's my
Nootbaar's not a
question to
proven
you.
asset.
Here's my question to you, Dad. What are you getting back for Danny Jansen? Because if I'm the Cardinals, sorry, not trading them anything of value. Nothing.
No, I don't. I'm not. This goes back to where I'm at now, that I don't believe that the Blue Jays and Cardinals, even though there's a fit there, I don't believe it's as good of a match as people think. That's what I'm going to say.
Because if they really want Lars Nootbaar, which some reports say they do, I don't know. No way in hell am I even considering trading him for anyone but Alejandro Kirk. And even then, I don't even know if I do it. I don't. I don't know.
I also don't know, and I know you think it takes Gorman to get Murphy. I don't know if it takes that much. I really don't.
I think it
might
does,
take,
Dad.
But we don't know that. Like that's your guess, and my guess is maybe it does. It might take Burleson and 2 young arms. I don't know. I don't know that.
Well,
answer.
if that's the case, why isn't that done already?
Well, because we don't. I have no idea.
I'm going to say that they're going to ask for Gorman. They're going to ask for those guys, and then maybe once that price isn't met, it goes down, and that's why it takes a long time. For me, I love Alejandro Kirk, and if they get him, I will be ecstatic. He would be great for this team. He really would. But I'm going to say that as the least likely scenario.
Agreed.
So I'm just going to put him off to the side for a little bit. If there's some traction that comes around it, and there's some rumors that they're in talks about him, we'll go back to him. But for now, as much as I would love to have Alejandro Kirk batting fifth, protecting Nolan and Goldie and catching, I don't think that's going to happen. I have a hard time seeing that fit actually manifesting to where both sides are comfortable with the return they are getting.
Yeah, like I said, to me, if there's a trade made, and I'm with you, by the way. First of all, let me just say a couple things. Love Alejandro Kirk. Would love to have him as a Cardinal. That's not. I'm just saying I don't know that I necessarily see that happening. Do not really want Danny Jansen. That's a fear. 27 years old with an injury history. Yes, he hits in limited at bats. I understand that, and maybe if that's what you want. Okay, but I'm with you. Let's not give up the farm for Danny Jansen. Sean Murphy to me checks every box. He can hit fifth or sixth, wherever you want it. Sixth would be great, right? He can hit there. Left-handed bat, and very, very solid defensively. It's not even close.
One of the best in baseball.
Yes, agreed. So to me, if I'm going to give up one of my top guys, right, and I've been very vocal. I want Nolan Gorman here hitting in our lineup as a DH from the left side next year. I'm going to stay on that. I just don't know that the price for Sean Murphy is just look at what the Padres gave up to get Minaya. They gave up nothing. Now, I know that Montas, the Yankees gave up. They still didn't give up their top 3 prospects. They just didn't. So I don't know that the price to get, and we have a background. We have a history trading with Oakland. Yes, we have a history trading with Toronto, the Grichuk trade, and all of that. I understand that. You go back to the Kobe Rasmus trade. I understand all of that as well. I just feel like if knowing how the Cardinals value defense, and they value a guy who can take behind the plate. That's not the way you would phrase it, I don't believe, but you know what I'm saying. Go to bat behind the plate every day. I just feel like the guy is, to me, if you're making a deal with Sean Murphy, but I'll also say this: I think they're signing Willson Contreras.
Okay, let's get to that in a second. Can I tell you my concern about Sean Murphy?
Yeah.
One, I think if the Cardinals had to pick any catcher in baseball, not just any catcher available, any catcher in baseball, Sean Murphy might be the guy they pick to be their catcher for the next 10 years. He is the prototypical Cardinal catcher.
Yes.
He's great defensively. He has a good, well above average bat, and he goes about everything the right way. He handles pitching staffs well from everything I've heard. My concern with trading, honestly, for anyone at this point, what do most teams want? They want arms. They want young, controllable arms that they can develop. What do the Cardinals need right now to develop arms? So am I trading Gordon Graceffo? Am I trading when I can go get a guy on the free agent market that may be of equal value, like Gordon Graceffo, Tink Hintz? Am I trading those guys that I'm going to need, and I know I'm going to need, as I have one starting pitcher locked up going into 2024? I don't think I am. And I would love Sean Murphy. And on the surface, if you say trade Graceffo and trade Alec Burleson and a couple other guys, that's a fair trade. That's what Oakland should want for him. But for me, I don't know if you can do it. They have not built up a deep enough farm system pitching wise. They have a great offensive farm system.
It's
for you to be able to deal from that.
It's once again why the bow tie gentleman gets paid the money that we don't, because when you're dealing fantasy baseball trades, it's a lot different. When you're looking at the future of an organization, that changes things. And that's I understand the draft pick with Contreras. It just seems like but again, there are so many things when fans start talking about trades that we don't know. I don't know what Oakland wants. I don't know what Toronto wants.
They might love Alec Burleson. You know what I
Right.
mean? They
I don't
might
know if
love
there's
him.
somebody else out there that we're not talking about today that they have interest in that we don't know is available. Like I just don't know. You brought, is Travis Darno available? Is James McCann available? Those are just
Oh, I
names
hope
out
not.
there. I understand that.
Got
I'm
the
just
cap.
saying. I'm just saying we don't know who is, nor do we know what they want. And if I'll go back to this. If I'm making a trade, and I've said this all along about Toronto as well. And we saw with the Teoscar trade, they need arms. They need arms. If you want to talk about a team that needs arms, it's the Toronto Blue Jays. So this whole Newt bar for Kirk has never made any sense to me. It just
Really,
doesn't.
for
I don't
either
know.
team, if you want to be honest. I
No,
don't know if it
that's
makes sense for either team. Can I say something that you just piqued my interest a little bit? Would a package centered around Jordan Hicks and maybe a prospect for Danny Jansen make sense to you? I love Jordan Hicks, but let's be honest, he hasn't been. Like,
yeah.
we've been waiting for 5 years for this guy to become what he can.
Maybe,
Like that's a deal I can get behind. I don't love
maybe.
trading Jordan Hicks,
Yeah,
but I mean that's something where you fill the need and you dealt from a guy that's kind of still a question mark at this point in time.
yeah. Yeah, here's what I'm going to go back to, and I know we're going to talk about it in a minute. Let's get on. Let's get on to what you wanted to the free agents. Let's get on to the free agents that are available.
So we both agree Sean Murphy is the guy. If you're going to go trade for someone, that's the
yes,
guy you're probably most likely to get. I think Alejandro Kirk would be a great fit, but I don't think dealing from your outfield, which has enough. If I'm going into this year right now, the outfielder I almost feel best about is Lars Nootbaar. So I don't get why anyone's clamoring to trade him. Like, I feel better
yeah,
about him than DC, than Tyler, and Jordan Walker could be fantastic, but we just don't know yet.
right.
Um, so
Also,
that's
to be
where I
fair, hold
stand with
on.
Lars Nootbaar.
Let's be fair. We've heard one person say that they're interested in Cardinals outfielders. That's it. It's not like
I've
we're
heard a
hearing.
couple. I've heard a couple.
Okay, I've heard one
It's
that's
been
a
circling
legit
around
source.
Toronto Twitter for like 4 or 5
Yeah,
months at this point.
yeah.
They're going to have to trade a catcher. They will eventually trade a catcher.
I understand that. Yeah,
So that's where, and it's an obvious fit when you see that. I think they're going to go get a Bellinger, Nimmo, maybe even both. I think that's what they're
yeah.
probably going to
I could see that.
do. Okay, so moving on to the free agents. Let's go top tier free agents because we can talk about the ones where if Mo does what he normally likes to do, which is picked at the bottom of the barrel,
Right.
then we can get to those guys. No offense to those guys. We'll talk about you in a second.
I was going to say,
But
shot at them. They're never
no,
coming on the show
I have
now.
a ton of respect for catchers, but they know they're not Willson Contreras. So let's talk about Willson Contreras first. I don't even know if I have to read you the Willson Contreras stats or
We don't.
anyone. He's top 3 hitting catcher in baseball. He's, by the way, can I say this now because this is driving me absolutely insane. How many Cardinal Cubs games have you watched with Willson Contreras behind the plate in your time?
A lot.
How many times have you said, "Man, Willson Contreras cannot play defense"?
Never.
So can we stop with this bullshit
I
narrative
know.
that Willson Contreras cannot play defense? He's not Yadier Molina. Nobody ever
It's
has
an
been.
It's
I don't
another
get
dude.
it.
It's another lazy Twitter take by
You know what I
people who
think
don't
it is?
understand the game.
I think
They go to the fielding Bible or they go to one of those what is it, the Savant page, and they look at one stat and that's all they do. Or they look at the 1 year. Look at a career. Willson Contreras is not going to hurt you defensively. He's just not.
no.
He's an massive upgrade. He's your number 5 hitter immediately. Like that. Now,
Or 2 hitter, for that sake.
right. Also, the key question that you brought up is the draft pick. But to me, like if the price is as high as you feel like it is for Murphy and for Kirk, then to me, it honestly boils down to 2 guys. And I know you're going to get to one of those guys next, but it's Willson Contreras or it's Christian Vasquez. And again, it also goes back to, and I'm talking about
Or Danny
free agents.
Jansen. He's a realistic possibility.
Right. But it goes back to, again, what I have said before on here and many times. I know the people will argue with this, but I do think it boils down to where the Cardinals really perceive Herrera. I really do think that if they perceive him still as the future behind the plate, which I don't know that they do, but they haven't come out and said they don't. But
I don't
coming
think
out and
they
saying
do.
that they have a need for catcher tells you that right now they don't see him as that. Okay, so let's look at that. So I think there's a lot of questions there. But if it is, then maybe Christian Vasquez is your guy. He's still an upgrade offensively. He's very good defensively. He's got 2 rings. I mean, it's not a terrible move when you look at it. When the expectations are Willson Contreras, Sean Murphy, Alejandro Kirk, it sounds very low. But it's not a low move. It just isn't. The team is better with Christian Vasquez behind the plate than they were in 2022. They just are.
Yeah, Christian Vasquez isn't really on the low tier that I was really talking about. He's the middle tier. So I did say there is a middle tier and there's a high tier.
Okay,
Christian
my
Vasquez is
apologies. I
not in the
stepped
low
all over
tier.
that.
No, that's okay. He's not in the low tier. The low tier would be an Omar Narvaez, Tucker Barnhart type move. And Omar Narvaez could end up, we can talk about him in a little bit. He could be a good option, but we'll move past him. For me, Vasquez, the one thing that really, really worries me about him, he's great defensively. That's true. He's not great enough to play over Martin Maldonado in the playoffs. We know that as well. Because Houston was not starting Christian Vasquez in the World Series.
Correct.
So, yes, he has a ring, but he was not the starting catcher that won the ring. He did catch the no-hitter, so you can give him that if you want. Willson Contreras to me is my number one option, but Christian Vasquez, his stats away from Minute Maid and Fenway, his two home ballparks, are atrocious.
Yeah.
Two of the most hitter-friendly ballparks to right-handed hitters really boosted his stats in his career. Away from those places, he is a bad hitter. Not good. Not even average. Like 650 OPS type hitter. That's not an upgrade.
No, I'm on board. I'm just saying, again, it goes back to very simple for me. If you're looking to bridge a gap to get Herrera ready, all right, if that is what the Cardinals are wanting to do, then it's a Christian Vasquez.
That's what they want to do.
Okay, then it's not. Then what you need to do is, and there's really four options. If we're going to be fair, if you're looking, if that's what you're saying and that's what you believe, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't know. That's all I'm saying. It's Murphy, it's Contreras, it's Kirk, and it's Jansen. Those are your four options. And I know you were going to bring up Narvaez. We don't need to. We don't need to bring up Tucker Barnhart. If that's the guys you sign, you might as well hand the gig to Andrew Kisner, as far as I'm concerned. Like, let's be honest. Like, that's what you should do. Bring Herrera up, split time between the two of them. If they both freaking suck, make a trade at the deadline for a catcher. Like, don't give money to Tucker Barnhart and Omar Narvaez. And that's not a shot at those guys. I'm simply saying if you're going to spend money to upgrade the catcher position, then let's spend some fucking money to upgrade the catcher position. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I will say both of those guys have had really good careers, but really, 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 really bad lately. So I just stay away from them. Stop doing that. You have a need, go address it. For me, as adamant as Mozeliak has been about upgrading a catcher, I think he really wants to upgrade the catcher. It's an opportunity he kind of talked about. This is an opportunity he hasn't had since he's been in the Cardinals. Mozeliak has not been able to go get a catcher
since I was born.
Right. It's not Matt Wieters. It's not, Tony Cruz backup catchers. He hasn't been able to go cherry pick his guy and say, that's my catcher.
Gerald Laird?
Gerald Laird, yeah, too. World Series champion. Laird.
Oh, by the way, all those guys were great signings. They really were.
Yeah, but
AJ Brzezinski was a good trade to bring over.
30 games a year.
But they were guys to fill a void. They weren't guys to start, to be an impact on offense and defense, and potentially to have for the next 3 to 5 years.
They were professional guys that could go in there and do the job if Yachty got hurt. That's what they were.
I also believe you can get Contreras to the 3-year deal. And if you can do that, to me, that just makes a lot of sense.
I kind of wanted to get to that too.
I
think if Contreras' market, you're fine. I think if Contreras is, let's focus on him a little bit, because I think he is the most intriguing option that makes the most sense. Because let's be honest here. Would you rather have a team, and I'm asking this to you, so not just the people out there, of Lars Nootbaar, Gorman, all still there, Willson Contreras, and all your prospects, or would you rather have no Willson Contreras, but you have Kirk or Murphy, and you don't have a Nootbaar or a Gorman, and you don't have some prospects? Which is better for your organization in the long run?
Yeah.
Isn't the answer like crystal clear to everybody but me? I mean, to everyone else? Not everybody but me. Me, but not everybody else. Isn't it? It seems pretty clear.
That's why I say, and I'll go back to it. I'll go back to it. This recent draft in 2022, a lot of pitchers taken. I could see the Cardinals eating a draft pick in this one. I know it's not been their MO. See what I did there?
Oh, but it hasn't been their MO.
But I could see that happening. And, I don't think we need to dissect all of them. We've all watched Willson Contreras. We have a lot of people have not seen Sean Murphy because, as we said all last year, watch West Coast baseball. A lot of people don't. Probably not a lot of people have seen Kirk. People love to look at the back of a baseball card, and not really literally maybe anymore, but you know what I mean. And what they don't see when you see Alejandro Kirk is, and I love him again, would love to have him here. But if you look at his last 2 years, his second half splits are really bad. We're talking 600 OPSs. There's a reason for that. I don't know it. I don't know if it's league adjustment. I don't know if it does have something to do with his frame. I don't know. Again, it's only 2 years. You could say very small sample size, but it has been an immediate drop off after the All-Star break in both seasons. Massive. This year, 640, 650 OPS, I think, after the All-Star break. Had an incredible first half, was an All-Star, but second half, not to be found in the offense.
Remind me after this. I wanna talk about Lars Nootbaar in a little bit because I think he kind of intertwines with all the catchers conversations going on. because that guy's name, if you go on Twitter, it's either don't trade Lars Nootbaar or, oh, we don't need to keep Lars Nootbaar. So I want to talk about him for a second because I think he kind of deserves it. Sorry, I keep getting my sleeves messed up. I don't think people understand how big of an offensive upgrade Willson Contreras would be for the Cardinals.
I agree.
I'm talking, you're going from the worst hitting catchers in baseball. That's not an exaggeration. They were the worst. To one of the best with an 815 OPS. 815 OPS is what he did last year. That is a 300, almost 300 OPS increase from Kisner and Molina.
Yep.
Do you know?
And you're also getting a guy who we have seen in the past. We've seen in the past, massive leader in the clubhouse, be loved by his teammates. We've seen a guy who I hate this phrase, so I don't mean it literally. But when motivated, right? Because it sounds like, oh, he has to be motivated to play. I don't mean that. But when in a pennant race, ups his game every time. So I hate the win motivated. I'm not questioning Willson Contreras' motivation. By the way, dude only has one L in his name. Or has two L's in his name. I kept putting one. Yeah, could not find it. That's probably why. Just learned that like a month ago. But either way, when also a guy who's handled incredible pitching staffs. He's won. And evidently wants to come to St. Louis, if we're going to be honest.
He definitely does. There's been a lot of fire with him. He's posted it on his Instagram of edits in him in Cardinal uniforms.
Yeah,
he's done that himself. He wants to be here. To me, he's kind of the Carlos Correa minus the cheating of the catchers. he has something the Cardinals don't have other than Nolan Arenado when he's provoked, which is kind of a fuck you. Fuck you to his game, where he'll get in your face. You're the opposition. You're the opposition. This is my team. I don't care if you like me. Now, don't forget the stuff he did with Yachty. They did not like each other for a few years. I saw some people bring that up on Twitter. Yachty got over it, and they're friends. So I would suggest that you get over it.
Yes, please.
If he came here, you wouldn't care. Just like if Carlos Correa came here, you would not give a single shit that he cheated 6 years ago. Okay?
Oh, no, there's somebody out there who would. There's no doubt about it.
No, if he helped win a World Series in St. Louis, he would be beloved, just like Mark McGwire was beloved, and he was cheating just as well.
They would stop watching baseball. They'd stop buying Nikes. They'd stop watching the NBA.
Well, they wouldn't. They'd say they were, but then they'd be wearing Nikes underneath while they're tweeting. People are complaining about Apple.
Okay, if we're going to summarize, and we get to a prediction time, which I think we should. We don't have to keep dragging this into the dirt. Not that we are, but you know what I mean. I will say it right now. I believe before Christmas, Willson Contreras is a Cardinal. That's what I'm going to say. If we're going to a trade target and they say they don't want to give that draft pick up or the price becomes exorbitant, okay, then it goes back to what I said before. To me, it's Sean Murphy's number one, and then you can go from there. But I still truly believe that Willson Contreras is going to be a Cardinal. And I know, like you said, please pay attention to actually watching them play and looking at a whole body of work, not just 1 year when the Cubs were lousy defensively, by the way. But or he's injured. Okay, stop. He's a catcher. We've just seen we've witnessed.
Yachty had to get a testicle removed.
Boom. That's what I'm saying. And again, not a shot at Yachty.
No, Yachty's the best ever. I'm not comparing a shot at him. Yeah, no, it takes. Look at Kisner, dude. He gets banged up every game he plays.
Right.
It's just the position you play.
That's my prediction. So if you'd like to make a prediction, then go.
Give me money in years.
Well, for Contreras, 3 and 55.
That's around where I think he's going to end up. Here's where I think they'll be out of Contreras. If he starts getting to the 5-year range, they're out. I don't see them giving up a draft pick and committing to him for 5 years. So if the Astros say, hey, we're willing to do that, then that's something that I would say, okay, the Cardinals might not do that. I think if they get him, it would be right around the 3. I think they're going to have to go up to 360. And it's going to be 20 a year even.
I'd be okay with that.
Almost, that's exactly what Jose Abreu got. I think they're similar impact players in terms of what they can do for you. So that's my prediction, and I do think they'll get him. And I think if they do that, it opens them up to a lot of other possibilities because they have a lot of players that are not going to be able to be in your lineup every day or nearly every day. We talk about Alec Burleson's. We don't know what he is yet. He could end up being the starting right fielder. Maybe he's great. We don't know. But they have guys like him, like Yepes. What do they do with these guys? That you open up guys like that. Not that I want either of those two to be traded. I'm not saying that. But to be traded for something else in need. An ace. If Tyler Glasnow's name starts getting floated about, then it leaves yourself resources to go do something else. So Willson Contreras is a guy that I just think makes the most sense. I'm sorry, I just don't see the value in trading a Newbar and a Gorman. And let's be honest, left-handed hitters are at a premium right now because the shift is going away.
Right.
Why would you trade your two most powerful left-handed
Yeah.
bats in your entire system, by the way, for a catcher? I don't
I
understand.
agree.
I'd rather go get a Christian Vasquez than do that, in my opinion.
I agree. So we solved catcher. So next week we move on to something else.
Oh, also one more prediction. Sorry.
Oh my goodness, you always have one more thing.
No, I think we will have him by next Friday.
Okay.
By the end of the winter meetings, I think he'll be a Cardinal.
That's my prediction. That's my prediction as well. And also, let's also not forget, huh?
You said Christmas.
Did I say Christmas?
Yeah, which is the 20th. That's almost a month away. You said by Christmas.
By Christmas, we'll have him. I'll stick by that.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I also don't discount the value of another Latin presence, another Latin leader in that clubhouse. Like, just don't. When you've got the Juan Yepes, you've got guys in your system coming up.
The manager.
Yeah, you've got Ali Marmol. You've got guys like that in your system. I just don't think you can discount that. I think the international market needs to be bigger for the Cardinals. I think that's something they really need to maybe expand on. They've had some success in the past. They just haven't dug into it as deeply as other teams. Again, maybe that means nothing, right? That's coming from an old white.
It means something. Latin presences in clubhouses are talked about all over the place. That's why
it seems like
Jose Abreu being in the Houston clubhouse is probably awesome for them.
To go with Altuve,
Altuve, yeah. There's a ton of. I mean, that's big, and I do think Ali Marmol being a Latin manager. I said this when they hired him last year, that I felt like that could be more intriguing for Latin players to come play here because they want to play for guys like that, guys that know them, that know where they've been from, and just know their history. That is important. It's important. I mean, look at Juan Yepes and Ronald Pena Jr., the guys you wouldn't expect if you just looked on the surface to be friends, but they're both from Venezuela, so they're playing on the same team right now.
And again, maybe we and you just kind of said we don't, but maybe we do. But you also look at the development of a Herrera and how important maybe a Contreras there would be. So, he's talked about the importance of Yadi. I would not discount the importance of Willson Contreras to help the development of Ivan Herrera. Like, if we're going to be honest.
And let's be honest, Yadi will probably be at spring training. He probably will.
Well, no, he won't because he's coaching the Puerto Rico.
By the way, he's got suspended for 2 games, but he's been ejected 4 times already.
Oh, I love it.
He's been ejected 4 times already and got suspended.
Okay. We got a few more things before we get out of here, but I think this is good. I think we've solved the catching problem for the Cardinals, which was the goal of today. Just a couple other things around the league. Miggy says next year's it. Give him the greatest farewell tour that anybody's ever received. He deserves it. I'm a massive Miggy fan. Second greatest right-handed hitter I've ever seen.
Will he hit 190 home runs to get to 700?
I don't think that he'll do that. But you know what? Maybe he does. It's Miggy.
How crazy is it that Albert has 190 more home runs than one of the greatest hitters of all time? Miggy's one of the greatest of all time. Just flat. If you were not able, if you're too young or whatever, and you didn't get to actually see Miggy in 2013 through 2015, that stretch of baseball, I have never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, you can go back to his Marlin days.
I'm talking about his triple crown, back-to-back
in the World Series.
He beat out Mike Trout for an MVP, where Mike Trout had one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen as a rookie, and he beat him out unanimously. Like, he was unreal, and that guy, he's just the best, dude. Miggy is a great personality. Everybody loves him, from what I've heard. So yeah, it's sad to see him go, though, man.
Couple other things. Anyway, he deserves, like I said, my top 3 right-handed hitters I've seen of all time: Pujols, Miggy, Frank Thomas. That's my 3 that I've watched personally. Now, Mike Trout is probably going to pass maybe all of those guys when it's all said and done. Right now, he sits 4th. He has not accumulated. He's not accumulated the Frank Thomas stats, but it's hard to argue if you wanted to put him up there. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just saying, guys whose careers are finished, right? And Miggy's got one more year, so that's why I discount Mike Trout right now.
He also kind of had a sneaky good year last year that people forget about. So
he really did, and also just a great dude. Like, talk about a leader in the clubhouse. Like, everyone loves Miggy. So
you believe Mike Trout only played 120 games last year and still hit 40 home runs?
Need to go see. I got to see him play against the White Sox when he was with the Tigers, like, early on. I'd like to go see him play next year at some point in time. So go see that again. That'd be really cool. Okay, couple things here. One thing we didn't talk about, we got quickly, because let's get out of here. We have trivia tonight. So we finished third last week. You were home. We finished third. We also got to go to our first NBA game. Pelicans beat the Warriors.
You just gloss over why we got third place.
Okay, you answered one fucking question the entire night. One. You
It got us
answered
third
one.
place.
You answered one.
Was that question worth more than all the other questions? Yes.
Yeah,
no?
but you didn't answer all of it. I answered two.
I answered
half
two
of it.
No, you're lying. I answered two. I answered half
It
of
was
it.
a four-parter.
I answered two parts of it. I answered the Panthers one. You're gonna lie about that. And
Yeah,
I answered
the Panthers one first.
That's
you were
bullshit.
questioning me.
No, that's the other way around. You had too many PBRs. But then I got wings right, which was the most important part of the question because nobody else knew it. You said Casablanca.
Either way, we finished third last week. It was quite the comeback. We were in ninth going into the final question. Caleb gets one question right the entire night. Thinks he's fucking Einstein. So here we go. We do have a $15 gift card that we're going to spend tonight without you. So
that's bullshit. I'm the one that earned that gift card.
Well, let's relax. There were a lot of missed questions that you should have known early on. That's why you were there and you did not help us out. But either way, but we did get to go to our first Pels game. Warriors decided that they don't like to play here in New Orleans for some reason because the second time sat all their players again. Brandon Ingram went off 34 points, dominated Jonas a double-double. We got to see Zion's first game back. It was awesome. It was a fun experience. I will be going quite often now.
Yeah, they dominated them too. That was a blowout.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We never did get to Lars Newpart. Do you want to do that real quickly?
Okay, quickly, because we need to get out of here.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
You want to save Lars for next time?
Yeah, we can. Okay.
Just let's do that. That gives us something to talk about next time.
I'm going to give a teaser. Lars Newpart should not be traded.
Okay.
He shouldn't be traded. That's all I've got. I'll dig deeper into it next time.
One little thing that I did want to tell you. I ordered 2 hats from New Era, but was out in the sunlight, and they're the wrong colors, and I have to return them. I ordered a Cardinal one, which I thought was blue and white, and it looked really cool with the old 82 Cardinal circle logo. You know the one I'm talking about? It's green. Then I ordered an Angels hat with the old school Angels with the halo. You know what I'm talking about? Thought it was like the sweet red hat. It's fucking maroon. Who the fuck? I will not wear maroon Angels. So I contacted them. I was like, look, I ordered the wrong fucking hats. Can you give me? No, I have to wait for them to be here. Then I have to return them to New Era. I was out in the sun, had a daiquiri, was drinking a daiquiri. Ordered a green and white Cardinal. I mean, it'll be cool for St. I might keep the Cardinal one for St. Patty's Day. That Angels hat's going back.
Don't worry.
Or you're getting it for Christmas.
I'm not. I won't. No, you'll get it back. Like you get me.
Also, it won't fit.
You also gave me all your shit, and then you didn't want when you moved.
Literally, I went through. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I got my receipt and everything. I looked at it, I was like, those aren't the fucking hats I wanted. Well, they're the hats that are coming. So we got that. Couple new things that we want to throw out here that we are trying, because you do know, those of you who have watched us, thank you, by the way, for everything that you have done. But those of you who watch us know that we always say we're going to do something new and it works for like a week and then we forget it. But we are going to try to stick to these. The first one, we're going to start the old Hard 9 mailbag. Right, we get a lot of we've gotten a lot of you guys subscriptions way up on YouTube. Please keep that going.
Yeah, subscriptions and views.
What did I say wrong?
Download.
I didn't. I didn't say downloads. I said subscriptions. But anyway, we get a lot of cool comments on there, and we also get a ton on Facebook and Twitter. But what we're going to do is submit to us weekly a question or two, and we will answer those on the air. All right, we'll give you a shout out. I don't know that you give 2 fucks about that, but we will. But that would be really cool. You can get those to us either via Twitter, and we'll put these out via Facebook. Obviously, you can ask them on YouTube, where you can follow us at all. Just look up the Hard 9 Pod. You can find us at all there, or you can email us at themoreyouknowable@gmail. No, not at themoreyouknowable@gmail.com, and I'll respond to those. We'll get.
We need to change that, by the way.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten to that yet, so I'm trying to return 2 hats to New Era. Give me a second here. So that's segment 1. We're gonna hopefully we get some cool questions. Probably get some dumb questions, but I'm just kidding. No such. Okay, teachers always said no such thing as dumb question. That's fugazi. There's dumb questions. So hopefully we get some good ones. We'll throw a couple of those out each week and talk to you guys about those. That'll be pretty cool, I think. Also, it's just not just us trying to come up with what we want to talk about. But finally, all right, we're debuting on the Hard 9 Pod, the Hard 9. So what we're going to do is this. All right. For now, it's Caleb. Caleb he didn't even know this. He is the test subject. But anytime we have guests on, all right, and I'll let him do this to me at a later date. We're going to give them 9 rapid fire questions, the Hard 9, to get them quickly. All right.
How hard are they?
You're going to have to answer them. They're quick. They're not think about. All right. So they are quick questions. I want your responses. Also, it kind of helps our audience get to know us maybe a little bit better, get to know our guests hopefully a little bit better, but also just to get them a little more interactive. And what else? Maybe a new segment that we'll probably do twice and then forget about. But hopefully we can stick to it. All right. So you ready?
Rushmores.
We got. Well, those are coming. Those are coming after Christmas. After Willson Contreras is a Cardinal. Okay. Well, we're gonna try. Are you ready to be the first contestant on the Hard Nine?
Yeah.
Okay. Harder to score, a goal in soccer or at the U of I bars?
I'm in a relationship. How is that the first question you came up with?
Literally sat on the couch and laughed for 10 minutes when I wrote that question. All right, so you haven't given an answer.
Ask the questions again, please.
You view people. Is it harder to score in soccer or at the U of I bars?
It's way harder to score in soccer.
Okay, good. Favorite flavor of high noon?
Pineapple.
Okay, it's wrong, but that's okay.
Not even close.
One sporting event you could attend that you've never been to?
The Super Bowl.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting. Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
Taco Tuesday or Weenie Wednesday?
Oh, that's tough. Wing Wednesday.
Okay. Favorite rapper?
Ice Cube.
Is that 6? I lost track already. Ice Cube, good answer, by the way. I think that's 6. Is that 6?
I don't know. I will not the one to ask.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I should have numbered these. All right. Hey, okay. Dream guest for the pod.
Derek Jeter.
Oh, that's good. I like that one a lot. That's 7. Okay, so that's 7. We got 2 more. Stick with me here. If you could live in one city, what would it be?
San Diego.
Okay, awesome. You ever been there?
Nope.
No, it looked fantastic, though, by the way. Final question, the Oprah question. You have to be quick. If you could have dinner with 4 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Oh, my God, dead or alive? Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Barry Bonds.
Okay.
And, oh my gosh. Oh, my God. I'm panicking. George Washington.
Okay. All right. So good job. You were the first.
Of 2 baseball players. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. You were the first contestant on the Hard 9.
I don't like my answers. I wish I would have picked Mike Trout. I'm staring at his face on my computer, and now I'm sad I didn't pick him.
I feel like they were pretty good. So well done. Let's try and keep that going. We have guests and when everything else, and we'll develop more questions. Obviously, I won't ask people the soccer or the U of I bars thing, but maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see.
This is gonna be the one episode Grace listens to.
Hey, I hope she does. Your answer was great. The first answer you gave was, "I'm in a relationship." She can't argue with that.
That's true. That is a fact. As of now, until she watches this video.
All right. Listen. Once again, thank you guys so much. We greatly appreciate it. We kind of showed you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube. Listen, do us a favor. We've been blessed, I would say. Lots of views lately. See, got it. Lots of views on the old YouTube. Please, when you get in there, just take a minute and subscribe. That really helps us in the old YouTube algorithm. Also, it just kind of gives us a little more interaction with you guys. And please feel free to comment on there. Don't forget the mailbag. You can find us either there, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or you can email us at, the more you noble at Gmail. We're going to change that eventually. All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I'm really excited to see. We could see some trades leading up to this winter meetings, but I do think next week is going to be an active week for baseball. I don't know about Mozeliak. He likes to wait until the market is set, so we'll see where that goes. But I think it's interesting to see where they're going to go. I think it's going to come soon, hopefully. I'm tired of this waiting shit. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say. I am so tired of Major League Baseball not having an exciting offseason like the other sports. They need to figure it out. Fans need to know when they need to pay attention, and so they can get excited for it. Because hockey and basketball and football, they do a great job.
They do.
MLB needs to figure out a way to make the offseason more exciting. It will up ticket sales, season tickets, stuff like that. It will
jerseys.
They need to figure it out. Because this waiting and hoping that it happens, maybe next week. They need to figure it out.
Wrong colored hats. all kinds of things will be purchased. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got that.
no, not probably
You got
not.
that.
Only by
Yep. Again, guys, hey, tell a friend. We greatly appreciate that. Find us at all of the socials. We'd love to hear from you. Please do not forget to get a hold of us, comment on all our stuff. Love to hear from you guys. We will be back soon. Like I said, big weekend. USA Netherlands, 8 a.m. Central Time on Saturday. You have all of the football championships on well, I guess they start Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but the big ones are on Saturday. I think the Big Ten is Saturday. I think the Big 12 is Saturday. And I think obviously the SEC championship, which is LSU, Georgia, down here, it's going to be wild. So enjoy that weekend. Pay attention to the winter meetings. They start Sunday. Like you said, I think we could see some big things happen. Hey, we did get Goldie in December. Don't forget that. So
at the very least,
it's not out of Mo's reach.
At the very least, we'll probably know more of what the Cardinals are planning to do, even if they don't completely do it yet.
Absolutely. Y'all are the best. Take care. Take care of each other. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.